I think they'll probably go for it sooner, but it's really unclear. Last night in the UK, the Labour Party leader and the Shadow Chancellor were sending out conflicting signals. The reason being that they want to make absolutely sure that this no-deal law, which will be passed by Friday, has locked down the idea that there can't be a crash out before October. And so once they're convinced of that, then they'll go for an election. There is going to be an election. It's just a question of when.
Of when, whether it's before or after.
Yep.
Now, what happens if we're coming up to, regardless of this law being passed on Friday, what happens if we get to October 31 and there is no deal?
There'll be a delay. So the bill that has gone through, in a sense, forces the Prime Minister's hand and forces him to go to the EU and say, we will have a delay, unless they can find some constitutional or extra-constitutional way of getting around this. But if they can't have a general election in time and Boris Johnson can't win, then there'll be a delay.
What do you think the EU is thinking right now?
I think the EU is thinking that Britain's in a great big mess. I mean, I think on the one hand, they have said that they will offer a delay, but I think that they're losing confidence in the British side and its ability to come up with any sort of plausible deal. I mean, it looks, this is a very deep constitutional and political crisis, as grave as one as there have been for decades, maybe since the middle of the century. And so you can see that every day, and I think the EU is losing confidence in Britain's ability to come up with some arrangement.
Bizarre thing, though, is sterling is picking up.
Well, every time it looks like Britain is not going to crash out or a crash out will be delayed, that's good for sterling. So you've seen it rally strongly over the last couple of days. Yeah. You've got two scenarios when the election happens. Boris Johnson could win, at which point then you could still have a crash out because they would have legitimacy in a majority. Jeremy Corbyn or an opposition coalition could win, then you'd have a second referendum. Or maybe the worst option of all, and a very plausible one, is a bit like many Mediterranean countries. You have an election and it's still evenly divided, just like the country. And then things get really messy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, well, what happens then? I mean, you know, is a second election referendum, rather, on the table, if indeed that does happen?
Well, the second referendum is on the table if Jeremy Corbyn ends up as Prime Minister. They've promised that. That's the Labour Party's way out of this. So it's possible. The reason why Boris Johnson wants an election is he thinks he can win. And there's good reason to think that he could. You saw the former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, warning that an election was a bear trap for the Labour Party because in the end the opposition is still disunited and the Conservatives and the Brexit Party could be united. So that's why Boris wants an election. And now the question is he going to get one in time?
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.